Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Sunday the 28th of April 2019. I'm using the Tarot of the Old Path. You can see that the cover is really old and messed up. I bought this secondhand in Glastonbury. That's one thing I'm really looking forward to, moving back to Glastonbury, that I'll have access to all these secondhand tarot shops, because a lot of them are out of print and you find some real good treasures. So let's have a look at what the Tarot of the Old Path wants you to know for today. The Eight of Pentacles. The Lovers. Oh, that's always a nice thing to see. And Temptation. And Temptation 15 is the Devil. So it's just a nicer way of saying the devil, I suppose. Oh, we've got Adam and Eve and the snake there. And a scary looking fox with like ghost eyes. Okay, so let's see what this all adds up to. The Eight of Pentacles is basically someone who works really hard. You can see him working to make this pentacle out of wheat, and he's made a lot of them. And it's someone who is doing something that they have a natural aptitude for. That's the green. So he's very, very good at what he does. He enjoys what he's doing. It's part of his life purpose, and he does a very good job. It means working consistently and working hard at something and taking pride in what you're doing, making money and being busy in your working life, being productive and getting things done. Then the Lovers in the middle, obviously a major arcana card, and this is a major arcana card too. Minor arcana. So the major arcanas refer to fundamental themes in life and big news, and the minor arcana represents temporary situations. So the Lovers here in the middle, you've got a man and a woman who are absolutely into each other, and they're sitting in nature and everything is abundant and blossoming. He's picking an arum lily there for her and she's touching him, and it's just a wonderful scene. And it's blessed by the universe. The angels have put their stamp of approval on this and have said, you are soulmates, you ought to be together, go and be together, be happy. The Sun here is about feeling strengthened by the other person, feeling strong in your own identity, feeling certain about what you're doing. Finally, the Devil is about getting too focused on the physical side of things and being stuck. So this is like a dream turning into a nightmare. Usually the devil is shown as this big, horrible creature with a man and a woman being chained up, and they are stuck in a situation that it exists because of physical circumstances. So for instance, staying in a relationship because you're married and you just can't get divorced. That doesn't happen in your family. You know, you're Roman Catholic, divorce is just not an option. Or you're in a job and you've got 5 kids to support and you're single, and you know you could do much better going back to school, but you need to feed those kids every day. So you do a job that's beneath you and you're stuck and chained to that job because you need to provide for the kids. It's the world's way of keeping you imprisoned and keeping you stuck. And that's the real devil. The devil is in your head and it tells you that there's no way out, there's no hope, that you have to keep doing what you're doing in a practical sense, and that there's no other option. So you have to keep going. You can't just take a break for 3 months and get yourself sorted out and rest or get your head together. You've got to keep doing what you're doing. So we've got the snake there. The snake in the Adam and Eve story, I don't even remember. The snake suggests she eats the apple from the tree, and then they get kicked out by this wrathful God who is just unforgiving. Here we've got a fox. I don't remember a fox being in the story, but he's got these silver eyes, kind of looks demonic. So bad forces are at work. The devil isn't so much Satan or Lucifer, but it's that voice in your head, the ego, that forces you to take action, especially when you're afraid. And that says, if I don't keep this job, those 5 kids, what's going to happen to them? So screw my own personal desires in terms of what I should do for work. I have to provide for my kids, so I'm just going to have to suck it up and do it. And that's no way to live, because you'll be unhappy and miserable. Yes, you'll feed the kids, but you're stuck. So here they're saying temptation, and the temptation is to give in to fear. Higher self-guidance is repetitive, it's quiet, and it comes in over the years, over and over and over again, saying, this is your true life purpose, you're meant to be a nurse, and you don't just hear that once, urgently. You hear it when you're 15, when you're 17, when you're 20, when you're 25, until you actually look into it. Ego guidance is, you have to do this now, otherwise you're going to miss an amazing opportunity, and it fills you with anxiety. So that's the way to differentiate between the guidance that we all get. And temptation is going to always be ego guidance that says, do this or you'll miss out. Do this or your money situation is going to go wrong. Go and speak to that person, otherwise you're going to miss the love of your life. And then you go over there feeling super anxious, and you talk to the person and you feel like, oh God, I haven't missed my opportunity. And you get into a relationship and it turns out to be a dreadful relationship where you can't communicate and it's awful. So we've got a strange recipe here, because the temptation is the fear and the ego saying you have to do certain things. As a result, bad things happen, and the work that you're doing is now no longer your natural loving work that you do. It's something that you are doing under duress, like you're a prisoner. So this is no longer the regular 8 of Pentacles, where someone does something they really like. It's repetitive. You're doing something that's hollow. You feel like a shell of a person, and you're doing that for the people you love. And you're doing it to save the people you love. You've got faulty thinking. You're saying, I have to be a martyr and sacrifice myself for other people and keep working myself into the ground so that I can maintain my love. Whether it's with my children or with my husband, if you are, or your wife, if you are the sole provider, the only person bringing in an income into the family because one of the parents is disabled and doesn't get anything from the government because they don't qualify, something like that, then there's a huge amount of pressure on you. And yes, you love each other, but you're chained to one another. And the love is still there, but there's a real sadness about, we're stuck and I'm doing everything for you, and he feels guilty if he's the one who's not bringing in an income and taking care of the kids during the day, and she feels terribly burnt out and stuck and like she doesn't have her freedom. And then the angels don't put their stamp of approval on that, because now you're under the guidance of this fox with demon eyes. So today is a day where things may not be as they seem. The things that you're doing and that you're super certain of and that you know are for the best, and you know certainly they're for the best for everyone involved, and nothing is ever perfect. So, you're doing the best you can, suck it up. You don't have to be 100% happy all the time. That's life. You know, all of these voices that we get, all of these messages. Life isn't fair. And of course, you know, at least I have a job. Look at the economy. Some people don't have any jobs. Those are all rationalizations and excuses for staying in a situation that does not serve you. So look at the things that you're so certain about and examine them. And that's going to feel very uncomfortable. And it's going to, because if you're in this situation that I've just outlined, you don't want to look at that, because if you look at it, you're going to have to make some tough choices. You're going to have to say, you know, honey, I'm going to have to leave this job because I can't do it anymore. And he's going to say, okay, I totally honor that because I love you, but what are we going to do for money? So you then have a situation which seems impossible. And the way to solve this problem is to stop listening to the fox, which only guides you about money and making ends meet, and it tells you about how you're going to get through this month, and it fills you with fear. And you start listening to your higher self, your angels, because they're going to say, you are meant to be a nurse, for instance. So while you're doing this job, you're tired and burnt out already, but we're going to give you the energy to start nurse training, and you go to night school and you start taking classes. And then after a couple of months or years, she qualifies as a registered nurse, and she's able to transition out of the job that she dislikes and that the devil, the temptation, the ego has trapped her in. And she's able to transition in a calm way to being a nurse, which is her life purpose and a job that she absolutely loves and adores. I'm just using that as an example. And then she transitions from one income into a different income, and there's no panic about money. And then she's in a job that she loves and that pays her more, so it takes the financial pressure off. And then there's not such a resentment as well in the family about him not getting disability money, because she's making much more now, and we don't need the government, for instance. And it lifts the entire atmosphere. It lifts the entire tone of the family unit. So if you're really, really certain about things that you're doing in your life that you really dislike, but you have to do them for a reason, those are the things that you ought to put under the microscope, under the lens today, and say, actually, what if I could be 100% happy? What if I could do the things that I want in life? What if I could move to the place that I actually want to live? What if I could go to the school I've always wanted to go to? What if I could be with the partner I always wanted to be, instead of settling for someone who has expressed an interest in me? And because I feel I'm 29 and a female, I mean, this is going back to the 40s and 50s, you know? If you were single at 29 and female, and you were about to hit 30, anyone who'd come along, you'd say yes to, because there was this huge social stigma of being a spinster. So what if you ask yourself, what do I really, really want? And I can be happy in this lifetime. It's people who ask themselves that, and it's people who think that they can have a positive life. They will have a positive life. What did Margaret Thatcher say? She said, be careful of your thoughts, because your thoughts become words, and your words then become actions, and your actions become habit, and your habit becomes your character, and your character becomes your life. And what you think will create your life. It's the same way as saying you manifest what you think of. It's the secret. It's all of that stuff. It's the law of attraction. It's manifestation. So think of your best possible life and question the certainties that you've got, and really embrace the things that come up today that say, here is the way to live your best positive life. And they will feel calm and they will feel like old friends coming back in because you've heard these messages for years and you've just pushed them aside because you can't afford to do that. It's too risky. I don't live in that kind of world, all those negative messages. Look at those again and find some way to transition from the existing situation into the new situation. You don't have to throw your whole life up in the air and say, I quit and whatever, but you can transition from one thing to the next, and that causes you less stress, but it also allows you to really live your best life possible. Because there's so much good out there that you can achieve, but if you settle for less because you let fear rule you, then you're just miserable for your whole life, and then the ego wins. That's what it wants. So number-wise, we've got 8 and 6, that's 14, and 15, that's 29. 2 and 9 is 11, and 11 is the master number of service. So charity begins at home. You can be of service to yourself today by really committing to your life and saying, this is the one life I get to lead, and I'm going to make the best of it. And I know changes are hard to make, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to listen to my higher guidance, and I'm going to do it. You're also helping other people indirectly because they will see you pursuing your dreams. Your children, their children, if they see their mother doing that, they will have an example of a powerful woman or a powerful man who doesn't settle for less, who works hard to create the best life they can live. And that's an amazing service that you can do for your children, because your children don't listen to your words, they watch your actions. So that's what I get for today. So really, even if it feels uncomfortable, ask your higher self, what certainties are wrong in my life? And what should I reconsider? And please remind me of the dreams I had when I was younger and that have gone kaplooey and disappeared. So have a wonderful day. Make some time for yourself to just, soul search a little bit. That kind of soul searching, it pays off. It really pays off. It can make your life, you can have a life that works in all areas, and you can be happy. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and a wonderful, insightful day that really gives you an idea of what your dreams are and how you can realize them. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology in my personal readings. The astrology charts I draw up by using your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. Order a chart rectification with me if you don't have the time of birth. I can work it out through you giving me info, and I work it out. Once I have that, I can tell you what your life purpose is, what your vocational aptitudes are, what's happening in love and health and travel and children and personal and spiritual development, and how you can alter those things, your strengths and weaknesses, what you can work on, and what's coming up in future as well. So if you're interested in any of that, then please get in touch via the website, gregoryscott.com. Order the reading there, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.